Hello everyone, and welcome to today's program. I'm Tang Jingyuan. In a stunning and lightning-fast operation, the United States, working in close coordination with Israel, has successfully carried out a decapitation strike that eliminated Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. Beijing responded with a predictably harsh condemnation, labeling the action as an act of hegemonic bullying and raw power politics. Yet beneath the tough rhetoric, there's little doubt that this development has triggered deep unease in Zhongnanhai. British defense and security analysts, including Sky News' Deborah Haynes, have pointed out that this strike dramatically amplifies the deterrent power of decapitation tactics. It sends a clear message. Even the most insulated top leaders in authoritarian regimes are now vulnerable to precision targeting. For figures like Vladimir Putin or Xi Jinping, nights are likely to feel far less secure. Prominent Japanese media figure Yaita Akio put it bluntly in his commentary. Iran's supreme leader was taken out in this assault, and the timing, just ahead of President Trump's scheduled visit to Beijing between March 31st and April 2nd, serves as an unmistakable warning shot across Xi Jinping's bow. Yaita dismissed earlier speculation from some pro-Beijing voices in Taiwan and elsewhere, which claimed Trump might be heading to China to sell out Taiwan or offer concessions. Those claims, he argued, were either naive or deliberately misleading. The reality is stark. The so-called strongest anti-American power in the Middle East crumbled with astonishing speed under US-Israeli pressure, leaving the Eastern powers' dictator trembling under the covers. This event is far more than a Middle East development. It's a direct message to Xi. It rips away the facade of invulnerability that Beijing has long projected. Yaita outlined three major blows this inflicts on Xi and the CCP. First, it shatters the carefully cultivated image of China as a great power capable of guiding the world and protecting its allies. Regimes like Iran, which have long aligned with Beijing, received zero meaningful protection or support. If China can't shield its strategic partners, what credibility does it have when flexing its muscles globally? Second, it demolishes the myth of China's vaunted defense systems. Both Venezuela earlier and now Iran, major recipients of Chinese weaponry, saw their air defenses and strategic assets rendered ineffective against U.S. forces. Potential buyers worldwide will now seriously reconsider whether investing in Chinese military hardware makes sense. Third, and most personally, it strikes at Xi's own sense of security. Only the world's preeminent military power could execute a decapitation strike of this sophistication. When the big boss demonstrates that capability so publicly, other strongmen must reassess their own positions and vulnerabilities. Looking ahead to Trump's Beijing trip, Yaita emphasized that this won't be a feel-good summit filled with platitudes. Trump is arriving to force a reality check. Are you still willing to confront the United States head-on? He cautioned against misreading any recent softening in Trump's tone toward China. Don't mistake it for weakness. Trump operates more like a no-nonsense traditional Chinese doctor from Henan. Administer strong medicine first, then negotiate the follow-up treatment. Adding to Beijing's embarrassment, CCTV attempted damage control by initially claiming Khamenei would soon deliver a public address to debunk rumors of his death. But once Iranian state media confirmed the killing, the report was hastily edited, only for CCTV to forget to disable comments. The section was quickly flooded with Chinese netizens celebrating phrases like "congratulations," "universal rejoicing," "another country steps toward civilization," "the cult leader finally offline," "national celebration for 40 days," and sarcastic takes on supposed mourning turned into outright mockery. The spectacle left the CCP, self-styled big brother to Iran, visibly humiliated. As Taiwan-based commentator Yang Guangshun observed, even if the Iran strike wasn't timed explicitly for the upcoming China visit, it undeniably complicates Xi's calculus. Xi must now grapple with the real possibility of meeting the same fate as Khamenei or Maduro, sniped from afar or captured. With repeated demonstrations of U.S. capabilities in intelligence, infiltration, and precision strikes, including publicized CIA recruitment videos targeting PLA officers, Xi's paranoia has only deepened. His purges have left the military commission hollowed out, leaving him isolated and distrustful. Trump's willingness to travel to Beijing after such actions radiates supreme confidence. He holds the ultimate leverage, yet still shows up smiling. This stands in sharp contrast to European or Canadian leaders who visit China for economic reasons or to posture against Washington. If the US can decisively remove dictators at will, it exposes the emptiness of diplomacy without credible hard power backing. Xi faces a dilemma: receive Trump and risk massive loss of face among allies in the Russia-Iran-North Korea axis and the global south, signaling China can't lead the anti-US camp, or refuse, humiliate Trump, forfeit any chance to steer the agenda, and invite continued US arms sales to Taiwan, or worse. With APEC potentially on the horizon later this year, Xi can't dodge Trump indefinitely. Like it or not, he'll have to grit his teeth, breathe deeply, and extend the welcome. United Microelectronics founder Robert Tsao noted on Facebook that the joint US-Israeli missile barrage not only eliminated Khamenei, but reportedly took out around 40 senior military and political figures, including Revolutionary Guard commanders and the defense minister. While the regime reeled in grief, oppressed Iranians erupted in joy, with rare scenes of Israelis and Iranians celebrating together in London. Tsao drew parallels to cross-strait dynamics, suggesting that cheerleaders of East rising, West declining are now deeply disillusioned. Successive humiliations for Chinese-backed defenses in Venezuela and now Iran expose their fragility. Trump's demonstrated resolve silences those who mocked US unwillingness to act decisively. He questioned how Zhongnanhai's Hai's leaders are processing this. Historically shielded behind palace walls while inciting hatred and proxy conflicts, they now face the prospect of direct personal accountability. No more hiding behind sovereignty claims or human shields. Such a shift could profoundly influence any calculus about invading Taiwan. Taiwanese military analysts weighed in as well. Retired Air Force Colonel Zhou Yuping highlighted how Iranian fighters were downed immediately upon takeoff, validating US strategies of minimal force for maximum effect through superior intelligence and integration. Defense expert Xu Xiaohuang praised the combination of hard kinetic kills, electronic warfare, and cyber disruption that blinded Iranian radars, affirming US investments in fifth-generation fighters, long-range precision munitions, and kamikaze drones. Scholar Su Ziyun stressed lessons for Taiwan. Iran's fatal flaw was poor system integration, Russian S-300 protocols incompatible with Chinese gear. Chinese systems like YLC anti-stealth radars and HQ-series missiles touted for detecting stealth aircraft failed under real jamming and were outmatched, as seen in Syria with F-35 claims debunked by F-16 strikes. Taiwan, by contrast, benefits from battle-tested Patriot missiles and US standard radars with strong anti-jamming. Accelerating integration of indigenous weapons into the US-style Integrated Battle Command System, IBCS, is urgent to counter composite missile and drone threats. This US-Israeli operation came mere weeks before the anticipated Trump-Xi summit, completely upending Beijing's prior maneuvering. Some Chinese scholars, like Peking University's Wang Jixi in Foreign Affairs pieces, had floated ideas of a grand bargain, trade concessions for geopolitical compromises, perhaps using Taiwan as leverage, dangling massive US Treasury purchases in exchange for softened US support for the ROC. The theory went that Middle East entanglements would force Trump to seek quick wins with China on tariffs and other fronts. Instead, Washington flipped the table pre-summit, signaling, "No games, no dilutions, my terms stand." For Trump, Taiwan isn't negotiable. It's integral to US national security via the semiconductor supply chain, critical to AI and future economic dominance. As he reportedly told NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, mentioning Taiwan makes Xi's breathing quicken noticeably. What Trump intends to discuss with Xi, after methodically dismantling his key international enablers, mirrors precisely what the US demanded of Iran before escalation: nuclear restraint. Trump has made clear that a regime as brutal and terror-sponsoring as Iran's, chanting death to America for 47 years, will never be permitted nuclear weapons. In his view, the CCP's record of repression and threats surpasses even Iran's, demanding the same firm containment. We will watch closely to see how Trump tames this particular beast. If you'd like to stay updated on this rapidly evolving story, please subscribe, hit the bell icon, and select all notifications so you don't miss future episodes. Thanks for watching.